So, hi, good morning. I'm Lesley Jane Seymour, our Positive Mornings. And I want to thank everybody for coming, obviously. And I'm so excited. We have a bunch of people on the West Coast today. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining us.
Early.
It's early. I really praise you guys because you don't have to have any camera. You can just listen to us, which is nice. We've been having such successful meetups. Last night we had a great interview with Joan London, which we'll post on the CoveyClub site, and we'll put it on social media. We'll open it up to everybody so you can hear her. She was fantastic. She wrote a great book, which is all about aging, which you'll want to read now that you have time. And she says she does on her Joan London Facebook page, and it's LUNDEN. At 1 o'clock, she does a live chat every day. So you guys can hop in there, and that's Eastern Standard Time. That might be fun. And I'll tell you all about the other things that we're planning with this program, and then all the other events that I've been planning. We have some meditation on Sunday, and then we're going to plan evening sort of little webinars 3 times a week. We'll try. I have so many people, so many of you have reached out. You are coaches, you are sex experts, you are psychologists, you have books, you have all kinds of stuff. I have Kelly's a financial coach, who doesn't need a financial coach right now? And what's great is we can do them live, so you can ask questions live, which is, to me, the best part of this and the best part of really connecting. Though it's nice to listen to a video, I think it's more, it feels like we're in a room together, I think. And so I really enjoy meeting with all you guys live. So I thought, just because one of the things that we're learning about from these sessions we've been doing is keeping everything positive. And I used to do that with my kids when they would come home grumbling about how the teacher was mean to them or whatever. So I'd say, let's say hello to each other in the chat. And why don't you also say one good thing that happened to you yesterday? And we can start from there. And I'm going to turn it over now to the wonderful Dana and Wendy. And I'm going to quiet myself down to the end.
Good morning, everyone. We're so excited to have you. Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I just said good morning.
Oh, it's funny with Zoom, like only one little yellow square gets to talk at a time. Dana and I had to get used to that, because when we're live together, we constantly go back and forth like this, but with Zoom, it gets choppy. Really glad to have you all back with us this morning. We've got a really, I think, cool topic for you. Before we get into it, a quick review of yesterday's tool. So simple. Every time you walk through a threshold, every time you walk through a doorway, remind yourself, ask the question, how do I want to show up in this space? And the more that we do that, the more that we show up in alignment, which ties into, I don't know if you've noticed, but our things sort of build on one another here on Positive Mornings, which ties into today's topic, which is, how do you structure your time? How are you using your time when structure is gone or changed? And we're going to take this productivity thing from a little bit of a different angle this morning. And Dana and I spend a lot of time every day, all week long, on the other side of this green light, talking to groups and individuals like you. And we have found that in quarantine, this is a hot topic. How do I structure my day when things are all of a sudden a little bit kooky and different than they used to be? And so I'm going to hand you over to Dana to get us started.
All right. Good morning, ladies. So how do we manage our time? And that is really, I think, not only a question for now, but of course, a question for always, because so many of us are usually so busy. There's a wonderful phrase that Tim Kaser coined, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He talks about the importance of time affluence. And I think that's something that most of us wrestle with on a daily basis. And of course, now that we have some sense of time affluence, we don't really know what to do with it. The sense of time affluence is really important. And this is going to be something for all of us to think about, I think, after this crisis is over and we get kind of plunked back into our regular life. This essence of having some sort of time affluence is so important because this is where we not only can relax and de-stress, but it's where we can focus on our relationships. It's where we can be most creative. It's when we can be most present with those that we love. It's when we can be most healthy. And yet, usually on a day-to-day basis, we have calendars that are completely, filled up, and we don't have that sense of time affluence. Also, that's where spontaneity comes in. And of course, some of our best memories, some of the best things that we do are things that we can do just because in that moment, in that present time, we just simply feel like doing it. So how do we, now that we have this time affluence, create some structure to our days? And so what we're going to do is talk a little bit about productivity, but we're really going to focus more on, is the way you spend your time aligned with the things that you say are your top values? Gandhi has a quote that I love, and he says, happiness is when what you think and what you say and what you do are in harmony. And for me, that has been a true guiding principle for me, leaving the days where I was terribly miserable in the work that I was doing, and now to doing the work that I love. Because if you are indeed spending your time in a way that what you think and what you say and what you do are in harmony, you are truly living your life in a way that is aligned with your values, right? What a beautiful place to be. And that's what we want to talk about today. Are you living your life in a way that is aligned with your values? So, and we're also going to talk a little bit about what are some of the things that get in the way of that, right? So what I'd like to do right now, just to start off our conversation, is to ask each of you just to spend a minute right now in silence, thinking about what is truly most important to you. And if you were to say, these are the 3 most important things to me, and this is how I want to be spending my time, what are those 3 things for you? So spend a minute reflecting about it. And when you're clear on that, put your answer in the chat room. The 3 most important things that are of value to you. Terrific. We're seeing all sorts of answers that some of the answers are very similar, family and self-care. And I think the third one seems to vary quite a bit for everybody. We're going to hone in on this in a minute. And I realized I didn't give you an example of something I wanted to share because this is something I think we can all relate to. Usually we're pretty clear on what is most important to us, but we're not always spending our time in a way that is aligned, right? And that can be a pain point. That's where we feel like we're not in balance. And I think a lot of the pressure that we feel, I think especially as women, is that we should have some sense of balance in our life, right? And yet balance every day is not possible. It's almost like you conjure up this idea of needing to be perfectly balanced. And of course, you can only keep that for so long, right, before you tip over. the reality is no one day is always going to be balanced, because every day does present a different set of circumstances, and the nature of having a priority in any given day means that other things are going to be askew. So we like to think about it in terms of harmony, which is very much what Gandhi talks about, right? When what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. So there's an element of you spending your time in a way that's not only aligned with your values, but you have some sense of harmony with how you're spending your time. And that over the course of a week and over the course of a month, you are indeed spending your time in a way that is aligned with what is most important to you. Again, that's not always going to be possible in any one given day. So I do think that's really important to underscore. The other thing is oftentimes we spend our time in ways that really don't matter to us. And I just want to give you a little example. It's a calculation that I did. Usually the calculation is accompanied by a beautiful picture that my son drew of me when he was about 4 years old. And unfortunately, that picture's in my office, and right now I'm at home. But the picture that he drew is this picture with hair like everywhere. And when you look at this picture, all you see is hair and a big smile. And to me, that picture was just beautiful, because to him, his mom was the person that he loved so dearly, and she had ginormous hair. And the reason why this is important is because until that time in my life, I spent a crazy amount of hours spending my time blow drying my hair so that nobody in the world would even know that I have the smallest little curl. I spent hours at this. And this is an example of how we can spend our time on things that kind of suck us dry of our time in a way that really doesn't matter. And it adds up to the point where you're not able to spend your time on the things that are most important to you. So let me give you a calculation. Between 1979 and 2004, about 25 years, I spent 45 minutes a week, 3 times a week, blow drying my hair. Now that's 135 minutes a week, which is 540 minutes a month, which is about 6,480 minutes a year, which equals about 108 hours a year. Now that doesn't count the little touch-ups I also did each day between those 3 days a week, but let's just kind of keep it simple. So about 108 hours a year. So over the course of 25 years, that's 2,700 hours, which is equal to 112 days of my life blow drying my hair. Now that's 112 days, assuming I didn't sleep, because that's a 24-hour day. So assuming I slept for 8 hours, I actually have spent 168 days of my awake hours blow drying my hair. So when I did this calculation back in 2004, when Danny was born, that is when I decided I need to simplify this whole hair thing and spend a lot less time on it. So I bring this example to you because I think we all have examples in our life where we're spending our time on things that do not matter. And that 15 minutes of scrolling through Facebook, the time I did a similar calculation for washing the dishes. So, I spent a crazy amount of time, 26 days of my life, I think it was, each year washing the dishes. When you do these calculations on the things that do not matter, we realize either A, we can get rid of it because it's not aligned with what is truly important, or B, there's ways that we can simplify or delegate. I am much better about delegating the dishes to my sons, even though they don't do nearly as good of a job as I do. It takes a lot less time for me to finish the kitchen in 10 minutes the next morning than it does for me to clean the whole kitchen, right? So that's an opportunity to simplify and to delegate. So before we start our conversation about what is most important to us and how we spend our time that's aligned, I'd love for you first to identify for yourself and put in the chat book, what are some of your time suckers? What are some of the things that you spend time on that at the end of the day really don't matter that much to you?
And I'm going to throw in one for all of you. So pick another one, because if you calculated how many hours, minutes, days that you have spent of your life worrying, it would put you on your knees. So that's number one for all of us. Let's cross that off our lists.
That's a beautiful example. Worrying, overthinking, yes, social media. My hair makes me happy. Excellent. I once went to the hospital for major surgery, and my surgeon asked me why I did my hair, and I said, because it makes me feel good. And by the way, I agree with that 100%.
Regretting, ruminating, yeah.
News.
Chuck that
Email,
stuff.
emails, yes. Laundry, cleaning, feeling insecure. Yes, great example. Overthinking, emails that don't matter. So there's so many things that we spend our time on that really does add up. And I realize I asked the first question of you regarding alignment and your values before I wanted to share this example first. So what I'd like to do now is get back to your answer that you said about what are the things that are most important to you, the values that you have that are most important to you as it relates to how you want to be spending your time. And we're going to take a closer look at that. And this is where we want to have some conversation in the room. We're going to call on some of you to share a little bit about some of those things that are most important to you. And what we want to talk about specifically is what works well for you as it relates to how it is you spend your time. So, Wendy, I think you were pretty good about writing down. Yep. Okay, great.
So I looked at, as you were putting your words in the chat about what your values are, they really fall into 5 buckets. Okay, they fall into family, friends, and connection, bucket number 1. Health and self-care, bucket number 2. Nature, bucket number 3. Creativity of some sort, bucket number 4. And giving, teaching, working, however we're putting our stuff out into the world to make a difference, bucket number 5. And so when Dana and I talked about this, in all of the coaching that we're doing through this quarantine and people saying, how am I structuring my day? We're hearing people say, I care so much about my health and I go to the gym every single day and my gym is online and they're offering it, but I can't get myself to do it. Or I care so much about really keeping things in balance and I'm really moderate about, but man, I'm drinking a bottle of wine a night. Or this is the time that I could write my book. Why can't I get myself started on it? So we see that this weird amalgamation of change and structure and free time and busyness and all of this stuff is having an impact on all of us in some ways, pulling us away from the stuff that we value, that we really want to spend our time doing. And so we thought that today, because this is Positive Mornings, we'd go bucket by bucket and have those of you for whom that particular bucket is working well, share your tips for those for whom that bucket is not working so well. And maybe we can get some really good ideas. Like I think it was Kathleen Carroll who showed us a couple of sessions ago that she had all those Post-it notes at the door. People went wild. Christine told us about how she's using this time to test all her lipsticks. We love it. So as we go bucket by bucket, we're going to call on you. Just put me in the chat if you've got something that's working well for you under this bucket, and let's share them out with one another. Okay, so bucket number 1, spending good times, a good amount of your time making great connections with family, friends, relatives. Who's got some things? Angie, what do you got for us?
Hi there. Well, I have a daughter who is 13. She's in the 7th grade. And we do spend a lot of quality time together, but one of the most special things that we do, we started when she was an infant, but I still read with her every single night before bed. We have about a 30 to 40 minute time period leading up to bedtime where we still sit and read together. And that is the most special, precious time to me. And the fact that she's still 13, or she's already 13 and still loves doing it and doesn't reject that time with me is just so meaningful. I mean, I figured by now she would be over it, but she's not. She loves it.
So beautiful.
She sits next to me and cuddles up, and you know, I feel so fortunate that she hasn't told me to go away because she is at that magic 13 age.
I love that. Thank you, Angie. What a great idea. Reading with our kids still. Andrea Weinrob has a.
I mean, I've already.
Where are you? There you are.
Andrea.
So we've been doing I do FaceTime every single day with my grandchildren before this happened, but now we're like, so now I've been reading them stories. So they are bilingual. They're only, the baby's a baby, but the others are 3 and 5, but they're totally bilingual in English and Hebrew. So when I was there in January or December, they got Tiki Tiki Tambo. We probably all remember that book in Hebrew. So they said, it's in English too. So I ordered on Amazon like a month and a half ago to bring when I went next week, which I'm not doing. So now I've just been reading them stories because my daughter's about to go nuts. Not only if she have a 5-month-old, a 5 and a 3-year-old, but now she has a husband home who was just put on furlough from his big lawyer job. So everyone's stressed out and nuts. So I've been reading to them and just playing school teacher for half an hour.
Beautiful. I love it.
And what's so great is this is something they're always going to remember too. Like you cherish it and both of you are lighting up as you're sharing it.
Right.
They're going to always remember it and cherish it too.
I see lots of people in the chat are doing the same thing. They're reading, they're connecting over Facebook. I'm going to remind you all of the thing that Lesley shared with us in the very beginning of these positive mornings, that she's like randomly going through her contact list and calling up 3 people every day and just making connections, not making an appointment. Are you free to talk? Can we chat sometime? Just old school, calling them up. Hey, it's Lesley Seymour. What's up? So love that. I've been trying that myself. It's so cool. Okay, so we have 5 buckets. I want to make sure we have time for all of them. Health and self-care. Who's doing something that's working really well under health or self-care? Christine.
Hi, my daughter is home from college. She's 19 and we normally go to a bar studio together to work out. So we are doing online bar classes and my yoga studio is also streaming classes. So we're actually making appointments. Like we'll say, okay, so tomorrow bar at 10, tomorrow yoga at 11, and sticking to that schedule. And I have to tell you, I would be so unmotivated without her here because I am more of a go out to a studio exercise kind of person, not really motivated at home. So that's been really helpful.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you. We also have Gretchen. Gretchen.
I was unmuting everything.
There we
go. Yeah, I am very active. I normally go to Orange Theory like 3 times a week. I go to yoga on Sundays. I run on certain days. I do weights on Saturdays. So like all of that's closed, of course. For a couple days, I have tons of options. I can do, like, I'm not extremely worried about this, but the Orange Theory thing in particular, they have home workouts that we can do using their YouTube videos. I was having trouble getting to them, and then I realized what I needed to do was plan them for the exact times that I would normally go there. So I have it now on my calendar, just as I would be going to the class, getting in the car and going to the class. I have those on my calendar to do at home at the exact same time. Leaving it open was just never going to work. Same with yoga. I'm doing those on Sunday mornings on their videos. So that's what's been working for me on like the exercise front.
Cool. Thanks, Gretchen.
Yeah. Great idea.
I'm going to try that myself. Don Kuby.
And Christine, I just wanted to adding to Christine's idea. You've inspired me, Christine, thinking that my sons don't want to work out with me here at home. That's not something I would be able to create here in the home environment. But I'm thinking, why not call a friend? And we could do it virtually together, right? So that I'm usually get out and go personally as well, but I love the idea of calling a friend and scheduling that time with them. That sounds like a great idea.
I love it. Don Kuby, what do you have for us? You know she's on here somewhere.
Yeah, I see Bridget says me. I've got a me from Bridget. Bridget,
Okay.
you want to have fun?
I'll step in for you again, Dawn. I got you. Yeah, I too am struggling because my bar classes are streaming online. I'm struggling to get myself to do it. But the 2 things that are working for me is I'm sticking with my fasting protocols, and which really works well for me. I fit into medium pants yesterday, which haven't fit in 3.5 years.
Woo!
So I was pretty excited about that. I have nowhere to wear them. They're dress pants. I have nowhere to wear them except around the house. But the other thing is that every day that it's nice, which today is one of those days, I will go and walk on the beach. I live just blocks from Long Island Sound, and I promised myself that every single time I'm going to get myself out there, whether I do bar that day, I get myself to do bar that day or not. I'm just getting out and doing that.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Bridget. Susan Spencer. And Dawn, you can maybe type yours in and we'll read it off for you if you'd like. Susan, what do you have for us?
Part of the reason that I'm never on video is I'm usually coming back from a run when I sit down to do this. I'm just not going to share that with you at this point. I'm a huge runner, and I almost get emotional about this now, because when I'm out running now, it is just so exhilarating, and it just feels so amazing just to be able to move your body in space like we're not able to do right now in our houses. So, I mean, I know that not everybody likes running or can run, so I would really recommend just getting out and walking. The other thing that I've been doing is trying to support friends and people that I know. There's a lot of trainers out there who are out of work, and I'm trying to support them by doing private sessions with them, and they'll often actually, I mean, I have a friend who does things for $20, and it's just like an hour that you can spend working on your body. It's great self-care, but you're also sort of supporting a community that's really hurting right now. So yoga, whether you can find someone, I think you can approach people that you know and just ask them. That's what I've done, and people are really willing to do it. And I think it makes you feel good. It makes them feel good. That's it.
Susan, that's fantastic. Leslie's got a thought for us.
As I have to go back to my app, like you guys, exercise is really important for stress relief for me. So I got my app going. I had my roller. I had my mat, and I got into the app, and suddenly she calls for barbells. I was like, oh crap, where are my barbells? So I went into the barbells, lady. Olive oil, wine, whatever you got, you use it, and it works just fine. Behind, over, whatever. So
Perfect.
I was going to tell you is that when I first left corporate life, one of the biggest issues I had, and I was really scattered for the first year trying to start an entrepreneurial venture. And it took a friend who'd been doing this for a long time to say, simply go into, because I was like, I would be running into New York for one lunch and then coming back to the suburbs and trying to get everything. It was just a scattershot thing. And she said, literally go into your whole week and use color blocks in your calendar to say Monday is editing day, and I'll take calls in the morning. It sounds so stupid and so obvious, but when you come from corporate, that's all built in. Meetings are already planned. You know when those meetings are. Creating that kind of like, this is the day I'm going to do this part of whatever I do. This is the hour I'm going to take for lunch. It sounds so stupid, but if you put it in there and it has color blocks in it and you move it through the week and planned it, you will stick to it. Anyway, that's my only thought for you.
Awesome.
Love it.
I wanted to call on Karen, because I saw Karen Austin just a little while back. You had something you wanted to share.
Hi.
Hey.
Good morning. I just wanted to share that I've been doing brief meditations throughout the day, in addition to the ones that Wendy has been leading us in. I wake up feeling a little anxious for good reason, as I think many people are. And so I've been logging on to a number of the different apps that I use, and I've been sort of peppering my day with shorter meditations than I normally do. And that's been really, really helpful. Awesome. So I just wanted to offer that. And if anyone is interested, I can send some of the apps that are offering meditations for free.
We're keeping a little bit of a list, but I'd love to see which ones that you're using, and also which ones you recommend that are the shorter ones, because I think that would be a beautiful way to supplement what we're doing. So yeah, if you could put that in the chat, that'd be terrific.
Laurier is saying that she every morning is planning in advance what healthy meals she's creating for lunch and dinner, which I think, you know, when we're not going to the grocery store as often as we were before, that's helpful. Sometimes I run down there after a full day and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to put together to eat? So I love that. Thank you, Laurier. Okay, so our next topic is nature.
What is working well for you? And again, just put me in the chat box if you'd like to chime in.
Andrea.
Someone has to start it off.
Right
I'm lucky that I can't turn my computer. Well, I can kind of. I'm sitting in my office, which is like in the woods. So, and I work here every day, but I don't think I appreciated it until the past 2 weeks because it's just like, bleh, you know, I'm always here. So we can walk out of our house, go through the cul-de-sac, and we have like a 100-acre park right there. So every day my husband and I are just making ourselves go. Some days just for a walk. Some days it becomes a little, if you want to call it a hike, you know, but it really does wonders on you than just walking to get the mail. So simple, but got to get out.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful.
Kathleen's taking care of plans for friends out of town. Walking dogs. Lots of people are putting up that they're walking their dogs. For those of you who have a really busy Zoom schedule, like me, there are some days that I'm booked from 9 to 9 right now, virtually most of the day on Zoom. I have a little skylight in my office, and I notice when the sun is bright, and I take that 5 minutes before my next client session, and I run outside. Literally, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I run outside and I just stand and let the sun be on my face. For just 5 minutes, it's so rejuvenating just to feel the sun on my face on those days where I'm incredibly, incredibly booked. So let's see, do we have any other me's?
Working my garden, I see, has been a lifesaver.
Yeah.
It's inspiring. I haven't done anything on mine yet.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet in Connecticut. All right, let's jump into creativity. Who's got some ideas for tapping into creativity? Just put me in the chat. We want to hear from you.
Great.
Gretchen.
Okay, so I normally travel a lot for work. So this time at home, even though it's not for a great reason, it's, to me, is a little bit of a gift, just being at home and not packing a suitcase. So I just decided early on in this whole thing that I was going to use the time wisely for some of these things that I always say I can't get to, I don't have time for, but I really, really want to do. So I'm actually taking a writing class, which is actually in pause for right now, going to start up early in April. Been doing some writing on my own for a while, but I want to kind of take it to the next level. And I'm also in the process of starting a blog. So those are my two things that, you know, just aren't making good progress when I'm on the road. So now that I'm home and not dealing with all the travel, I'm going to make some progress on.
Terrific. What is your blog on, and what's the blog address so we can check it out?
Well, it's not up yet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I have someone working on the my website. I actually had an older website that's completely broken, so I'm not going to give you the link to that. But I will certainly share it once it's up. But it's mainly on lifestyle, health, career transitions. It kind of dabbles into a few of those different areas, and I'm hoping to get it more focused as I go along. But I've actually been doing these little like blog ideas, blog posts, more through journaling over the years. Like I've been working on this for about 6 years, I would say. So I have a lot stored up that I'm just gonna really get out there now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who else would like to share? Want to try to set a time every day to draw. Beautiful, Katie.
Heloise, do you want to tell us about this t-shirt project? That sounds amazing. I can't see where Heloise is. Maybe not. Oh, she has to get her
That's
mic to work.
I see that Rose is making jewelry every morning. Beautiful. I'd love to hear about that. Rose, are you able to hop on?
Good morning.
There we go.
There we are. I usually bring people to the doctor's office. And so while I'm there, I have to do something with my hands. So since you have given me a schedule of being awake, dressed, and eating breakfast by 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I've been making jewelry. And I started this on an airplane from Seattle, so I've been working on this. Otherwise, it wouldn't be getting done. I'm also a seamstress. I just sew for myself because I get much more pleasure out than doing for others. And so I've been getting to the sewing machine a lot earlier. And that has relieved a lot of stress because I have all this time and I don't want to waste that time. I'm like, darn, I should have gotten that done while we were sitting there. So I'm, making it like a top a day, which is, very good. But it releases a lot of the stress that I can't go out. I have an immune deficiency, so I really can't go and socialize. So this is my social piece, is talking to you all every morning. So that works for me.
Rose, what sounds so satisfying too is you're having something very tangible that you can see that you're achieving, right? In a visual kind of way.
I am. I'm very visual, very textile. So this is great to be doing this. Once I finish this piece, I have another piece just sitting off to my left that I'll be working on. But I'm doing an hour a day, which I normally wouldn't be doing. So I feel productive.
Awesome.
And I said, we need to take advantage of this time because all of a sudden it'll be like, oh yes, you are free to travel the world. And you're like, crap, I didn't get what I wanted done. Yeah. So that's what my fear is that I'm wasting time. So I need to be more productive. So I don't get depressed that, damn, I've wasted all this time.
Yeah. Beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So does anybody else want to share their thoughts on creativity and how you're using this time for your creative endeavors, desires, things that you want to do? Cooking new recipes with my kids. Yes, Maria. Doing a puzzle, Kathleen. Awesome. A friend gave me a pass to a masterclass. Which masterclass is that, Jennifer?
I think we might be having some mic problems today.
It's interesting. I'm hearing, yeah, it feels very quiet.
Yeah.
You're right. So we have, what's the next bucket, Wendy?
The next bucket is giving, teaching, working. How are we finding ways to really dive into that? Who's got something for us? Just put a me in the chat. Ooh, there a bunch popped up at once. Let's see, we haven't heard from Jennifer yet. Let's start with, Jennifer's mic won't turn on. Okay, so Gretchen, what do you have?
Okay, this is a short one and I promise I'll stop putting me in here.
We love it.
I'm not a teacher, but one thing that I started doing last Friday was I work from home normally and do my business travel, but my team is now home, working from home, and they're very used to being around each other. So I've been sending a work from home tip of the day for them as they settle into their time at home. It can take some getting used to. I think some people think that, I'll just pop into my home environment and everything will be fine. But there's a lot to learn about it that I've learned over the past 5 years, that I'm just sending them a little something every day, just something that they can do, a work from home tip. So that's my teaching moment.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Gretchen.
Lesley's
from Karen, you're mentioning Skillshare, taking some free classes.
Jennifer, I just unmuted you from my area. Is anything happening there?
Yes, I think so.
Yay.
Yay.
Great. See your picture.
Yeah, so Masterclass, I mean, it's an app, but you can go to the website and see it. And a friend just gave me it's masterclass.com. She just had a free pass for whatever reason, and they have classes on everything, like learn how to write a novel, a screenplay, cooking classes, and they're taught by, you know, like Gordon Ramsay or Dan Brown or, you know, people you've heard of that have written books or screenplays or whatever it is you're interested in. And it's pretty cool, actually.
Awesome. Which one are you taking?
I'm actually doing the screenplay one.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting just to see what's different about writing a screenplay and things like that. So
great.
Bridget just texted me. She knows I'm a big David Sedaris fan. And yes, I know about that. I keep meaning to sign up. David Sedaris teaches a writing course, and he is hilarious. I would go just to hear his voice. I think that we missed somebody who said me on this one at the top. Robin. Lesley, maybe you can unmute.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I've been...
There she is.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
This has been so amazing. I just have to say that again. So great. I've been... I guess I want to say, I don't know if this answers the question exactly, but I guess I want to say that every day I'm thinking of body, mind, and spirit, and how to attend to all three of those. And in terms of putting things out, I've been doing things similar to Lesley, like trying to offer free, you know, meditations and different things to the community, and trying to think creatively about how to do that. So it crosses creativity and also
beautiful. I love how you break that down into mind, body, and spirit. I think sometimes, you know, you touch on something too, Robin, and that is asking yourself some questions like, what can I do for mind, body, and spirit? What can I do to help somebody in need? What can I do to connect with somebody I haven't connected with? I think, again, in the spirit of that pause that we talked about in the beginning of the week, everything we're talking about in Positive Mornings is about creating enough of a pause for yourself that you can make intentional choices. And Robin, that was a beautiful example of that. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, before we move into our tool moment, is there any me that missed their chance to give an example in any of the buckets that we missed? No? Okay. So we have a really, really simple tool for you. Productivity-wise, there are a million tools out there. Google them. They all work. Time blocking, color coding, the Einstein matrix, knock yourself out. If you want to dive into productivity and figuring out how to, Gary Keller's The One Thing method of, you know, what's the one thing I can do, bullet journals, go ahead and Google it. There is a ton that you can learn about productivity. We're going to give you something super duper simple today. And it's one question that you can ask yourself, and it's, does this thing that I'm about to do move me farther from or closer to my values? That's it. It's a simple thing. It's a way of organizing all of those mini moments. Like if blow drying your hair makes you feel confident and alive, then the answer is yes, it's worth my time. If blow drying your hair makes you feel like, oh, good God, because I've got this horrible frizzy curly hair, I have to do this every day, chances are that's not in alignment with those values. So really simple question to ask yourself, does this move me closer to or farther from my values? And before I share today's meditation with you, I'd like to ask something of you. I'm going to tell you a little story. I've been in contact over the past few days with a friend from the Netherlands, this brilliant woman that I haven't talked to in probably 6 months, reached out to me, and she's very linear, brilliant, scientific thinker. And so I was surprised when she reached out to me and said, I've been surfing the wave. Like, I've been surfing the wave and tapping in to just what's needed. And I've been calling people up and saying, and the conversation seems to be exactly right. And I don't know what that means, Wendy, but I felt like I surfed on, and you came on my wave, so I'm calling you up. And I said, that's so weird. I'm doing this positive mornings thing. And my friend Lesley said, I call 3 people every day out of the blue. And that's inspired me. And so Cecile and I were talking about that. And we said, how could we make this into something? Like there feels like there's something bigger in that. And we thought, what if we asked everyone that we shared a tool with to not overthink it, just whatever person pops to mind, trust that that person needs the tool and share that tool out, right? It could be the one stone, it could be what brings me closer to, farther from, how are you, whatever. Something that someone in the group has shared. Trust those instincts that there is a wave out there right now. And I got so excited about this when I was talking to Cecile yesterday. And just before we went on the call, and I try not to get distracted before I'm working, so I keep my phone upside down so I don't see texts. But for whatever reason, mine was not upside down today. And just before I got on this call, I got a text from Cecile that said, I tried to write it all down. There's a wave coming. We need to build an army. We are not the resistance. We are the resilience. And I thought, oh man, that's so true. We can take what we're doing here every day and ripple that out, because really this little war thing that we're in is about resilience. And that's something that, just like energy, just as contagious as virus, maybe more so. How cool would that be?
Love it.
So I've got a meditation for you guys today that's sort of in tune with this idea of being a resilience army.
Wendy, just let me interject for 1 second. I believe Katie might have a question regarding the tool, if I'm reading that correctly.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to honor that. If Katie, did you have a question you'd like for us to address?
I do. I'm wondering, for those of us parents who have older children at home who are on their college schedule, which doesn't really align with real life, how are they fitting their work obligations more in the morning? I'm just wondering how they're scheduling. You know, it's one thing to have school age kids at home. College kids seem to be on another planet, and I'm struggling with that.
Can you clarify, when you say you're struggling with that, are you struggling with how they're meshing into your world or how they're getting their work done?
How they're meshing with my work. I don't, you know, like when they're home on vacation, you know, I would try and get all my work done in the morning so that they would wake up at 12 or 1. But now they have a class at 9 and then 11, and they'll go back to sleep because they sleep a lot, and then they'll wake up, and then I'm just having trouble. It's not like them being on vacation. Everything is sort of haywire. So it's hard for me to block that time out, because I mean, I guess maybe I just need to say, hey, this is my time. You know, we'll get together after 3. I don't know.
That's exactly what I've had to do, Katie. And I see Dana's nodding her head also. I almost stepped into that space yesterday with my son, and, you know, said to my husband, oh, you need to go up there and make sure because Max will sleep. Max is sometimes nocturnal. When he was on this call with us the other day, he had not been to bed yet. Right? That was his final thing. And then he was going to bed for the day because he didn't have class until like 7 p.m. or something like that. So I almost stepped into that space to say, hey, we need Matt, go up there and make sure Max is, and then I thought, wait a minute. They're in call. We need to operate not like high school mom. We need to operate in the same way as when they're at college and respect that autonomy and ask that they respect ours. This is a new piece of that, and it feels odd to schedule with our kids to say, you know, I'm booked until 3, but I've got time at 3 o'clock. Let's do something at 3 o'clock. it's what we would do if they were in college. And I think it's part of this mesh.
Well, what I have done is each kid walks, I have to get them out of the house because otherwise they'll be lazy as ever. But each kid walks the dog for a half hour, and sometimes I'll accompany them, and that will be a nice half hour time out. Because dog walking is like the kind of conversation you would have when they were in the car taking them to an activity as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so I'll just set a limit.
Awesome. And Christine has something for you also. Whoop, you're muted. Maybe. There we go.
As Wendy was speaking, I guess it was kind of like the same thing. So just building on that, maybe kind of touch base the day before and say, hey, what do you have going on tomorrow? This is what I have. Like everybody here now knows I'm with Covey 9 to 10 every morning, Monday to Friday. Don't bother me. And like I said earlier, we were working out together and picking times to do that. So if you say, what's your schedule like tomorrow? Here's mine. Here's when I'm available for you. Here's when I won't bother you. And maybe your kids will say, well, here's what I'm planning on doing. Here's when I'm planning on sleeping. Just kind of a check-in, I guess. Something simple. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. I think it's interesting, as Wendy kind of pointed out, as we have college kids coming back, we're kind of meeting on a different level, right? So I think there's that kind of mutual respect. I think that honors too, right? That we're not going to insist that you dwarf into my schedule. We kind of have our ways of doing things, and let's connect and respect each other's new schedules and arrange it together.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that with us, Katie, and asking the question. I think so many of us are struggling with, obviously, we're all struggling with the same stuff right now. And this is really, I got so many tips from all of you today, and hopefully we'll be able to share even more of those out in our resource page. Okay, meditation time.
Awesome.
So in alignment with this idea of becoming the resilience army, I thought today we would do a loving kindness meditation. So I'll ask that you all mute yourselves. And maybe Marissa or Lesley can make sure that in case anybody stepped away, all the phones are muted. And find yourself in a comfortable position. I hear somebody typing.
Sorry, it's me.
Okay. Maybe just put yourself on mute. Okay. Find yourself in a comfortable position and take a deep breath. Close your eyes. And as always, we'll start by just following your breath. Let it be natural at first. Just in and out with your body's natural rhythms. And as you let yourself relax, allow your breath to become deeper, fuller. With each inhale, filling and straightening your body. Fill every piece of you with air. And each exhale, really allowing you to slide into a deeper and deeper relaxation. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. You're alive, you're well, you're safe. Simply allow yourself to breathe in and out. Watch your emotions as if they go by on a ticker tape. They're all normal. They're all natural. Some feel good and some don't. We don't have to judge them. They're just emotions. They're a part of your normal life. Allow them to be. Allow a sense of peace to come over you. Feel it like a warmth starting in the core of your chest as your heart beats. Watch that warmth, that peace spread throughout your body with each beat of your heart. Repeat after me in your mind. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be healthy, peaceful, and strong. Allow the sense of peace to settle in you. Bring to your mind's eye someone that you love dearly. One person, anyone that you love dearly. Feel your energy mix with theirs and repeat in your mind after me to that person. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy, peaceful, and strong. See that person receiving this wish from you. Now fill a room as large as you need to make it with everything and person that you care about, your pets, your loved ones, your friends, people perhaps that you don't know, that you admire. Fill that space with every single one of them. And repeat in your mind's eye after me. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy, peaceful, and strong. See them receive that grace and that peace from you. Now fill a room with people whose actions, opinions, or values are in direct conflict with yours. Whether you know them or know of them, fill a room with people who you would consider in some ways as them. Look out on all of those people and know that those values of theirs come from their own desire to be loved, to be loving, to do well in the world. And repeat in your mind's eye to each of them, may you be happy, may you be safe, may you be healthy, peaceful, and strong. And notice the change in energy as they receive this gift of love and peace from you. As you bring your attention back to your breath, imagine your connection with everything that is, seen and unseen. Feel the energy ripple through your body as you repeat with me in your mind, may we be happy, may we be safe, may we be healthy, peaceful, and strong. And as I count to 5, you can open your eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Beautiful. It's beautiful, Wendy.
How about you, Lesley?
my goodness. Every time it's hard for me to come back. I will admit that was a challenge to put all the people I don't like in the room and not send them other things that are naughty.
I know.
That was good. I think that's good. Try to turn it around. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Christine, obviously very moved. Everybody, thank you. So I just want to thank you all for joining, and I hope you'll join again tomorrow. You can go to the CoveyClub.com attend button. If you hit attend, you can see the recordings of this and the ones you missed, or you can share them with friends. I hope you will. But I do think joining live is really important. As you can see, it definitely, I don't know, I feel like we're in a room together, so it's great.
Yeah.
I hope that you'll go to Supplies for Saints, which is the group that I'm working on, where we're trying to get, it's called PPE, which is personal protective equipment, to the various health workers in our town, but every town is lacking for whatever reason. And what we're doing is we have a spreadsheet in there that anybody can pick up and use to track whatever you're getting. You can even use our site to help. We are also on Instagram. We want to get everything off the shelves of veterinarians, doctors, neti spas into the hospitals, because these saintly workers are the ones that are going to save all of us, and they are getting sick because they don't have the right supplies, which to me is just appalling in this day and age. Marissa's going to put a little block in here, which is about, there we go, our upcoming virtual events, which you can see. We have Positive Mornings continuing through Friday. And then Friday the 27th, we have a great event, which is called How to Stop Stress Eating in Stressful Times with Susan Sagan-Levitin. And then Sunday, we have a guided meditation with Kelly. She's working with me on the Supplies for Saints and happens to be somebody in recovery who is wonderful. And she is helping me with this. She's also studies guided meditation. She did a great one last Sunday and is going to do it again for us. This one will be Breathing Through Uncertainty. Randy Levin's going to do Nurturing Through the New Normal. And then Wednesday, we're going to do What's Really Holding You Back at Work with Michelle King. She has a great book about what is going on with women and why we're really being held behind. You can take a picture of this if you want with your phone, so you have it all. Marissa will also put it in the chat for you, so you can download it. So Marissa's saying, okay, sign up for the upcoming events. Okay, so she's got it all. I've got to close this off here. And if you can follow us, be sure to follow me and follow CoveyClub in all social media, and then you'll know what's happening, because things change all the time and people offer different skills and things like that, and you'll stay abreast of all of it. So have a wonderful day, and thank you to Wendy and Dana. You're totally awesome, and this is so much fun and so helpful. And have a wonderful day, everybody. Big kisses, and we're all thinking about each other.
May peace be with you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a lovely day.